viewers, welcome back to Faith, Family, and Fun Reviews. If you're new here on this channel, I share with you delightful, family-friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. Now, I told y'all I was going to be back. I told y'all I was going to be back, okay, with this When Hope Calls. I'm thinking of When Calls to Heart. Okay, When Hope Calls, because yes, I already watched episode 1 of season 1. I was halfway through episode 2. I told y'all I was gonna watch it a little later, and I did. Y'all, let me tell y'all, okay? You see this look of happiness on my face, all right? I'm still loving it thus far. I'm like on episode 3. Yeah, I think so. It's really getting kind of juicy with these certain relationships that we gonna kind of harp on a little bit right now. But y'all, okay, I got a little beef with Tess Stewart, all right? Like, seriously. Homegirl, like, you know, we got every season, well, every TV series, movie has to have some kind of villain, right? And to me, Tess Stewart is that. She is more like that, but she's so slick. It's so shysty with the way that she do stuff. So it's kind of hard to nail her with certain things because homegirl always up on stuff. Like, seriously, she always up on stuff. I still don't know at this point what is her issue really with Lillian's family, like Lillian's dad, I guess, who she blames for her husband's passing. And I'm still trying to wrap my mind around, Tess, you was married, girl, because the way her attitude is, it is even difficult to picture that a husband will even be able to put up with her, okay? The way that she runs stuff, like I said, it's one thing to be strong, it's one thing to be confident, it's one thing to be assertive, but it's a whole nother thing when it's like, Tess is like, the way she is now is like, she runs it, all right? She runs it. She ain't taking no mess and different things like that. It's almost like she is cold with it, like so cold with it. You rarely see this lady smile. She always got this look like, and I'm laughing because it's one of them characters, like you say, you love it because you can't see it without, you can't see this show really without her. But at the same time, you like, what is wrong with you, Tess? Like, seriously, can we get down to the bottom line of your issue, little girl? What is your issue? Because we just love Lillian and her little sister Grace. We just adore them. They are so sweet, kind, running this orphanage, handling all these children, these different responsibilities, and the way that they carry themselves, they have this very godly. We just love them, all right? And just to see how Tess is with them, I almost had this underlying. We know Lillian already was up on game about Tess, okay? She been new, all right? Grace is kind of new to the game. She heard a little bit of stuff about why Lillian and Tess kind of don't really, well, it's more so on Tess. It really don't have nothing to do with Lillian, because Lillian be trying, forgive me y'all, in her own way, she be trying to be a peacemaker with Tess, approach her, speak to her kindly. She don't go too far because she know this lady, right? She just put a little something out there, just a little sweetness, right? That's how Lillian does it with such class, and Tess every time blocks her, but she does it in a way where it's not so evident to everybody else. So you won't be able to pinpoint oh, what is wrong with this lady? You're not going to think that to yourself because it's the way that she does. She has her own unspoken language, but Lillian knows it. Lillian picks up on everything, how Tess is. She knows truly how far this woman's, I almost want to say hatred goes, but it's almost kind of hard. You feel bad kind of saying it's hatred because she's so slick with it, and I can't even really put into words how slick Tess is with this, the way that she handles her affairs. But it's certain things going on in town, right? Like, people be saying, it's one guy, I forgot his name, was saying, blaming her for his cows or whatever, feeling like she's stealing them, she's doing something, and she's just like, I'm appalled that you would even think that or whatever. And it's like, really, Tess, you sure you ain't had nothing to do with that man stuff? You serious, girl? So it's like, she is up to something. Like this fire started, all right? This fire started, and Lillian's oldest two kids, the orphans, right? I want to say kids, so y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about kids that stay in her orphanage, okay? Because I don't really want to say orphans like that, okay? Lillian and Grace don't look at them like that. They look at them like that's their children, and rightfully so, right? So the two oldest kids under Lillian and Grace's care ran into the hotel's grand opening, that party event, and said there was a fire. And so they run out, everybody gets together, you know, gets the kids to safety, put out this fire, right, where it really destroys the entire building, unfortunately. But of course we're gonna have Gabriel or whatever. He has to get to the bottom line. He is like one of the councils, well, what do you ever call it, all right? He's like an officer, he's of the law, right? So he has to figure out what really went down. He of course starts with Lillian's oldest two kids, because they the one ran in there and said fire, and they basically said they had nothing to do with it. They were playing in a certain area, they didn't move from that spot, and they just happened to see that there was fire. And of course Gabriel doesn't feel like that is the entire truth, but he has to kind of wait it out and see, because Lillian is like, her kids are, they had nothing to do with that fire. If this is what happens, this is what they said happened, it is what happened, okay? We don't need to like make them out to be something that they're not, basically, right? And so basically they get to the bottom line of the kids turn out to not be telling the entire truth and admit to Lillian that there was more to the story, right? And so they go to Gabriel and let him know everything in its entirety, which kind of pinpoints more who's kind of behind this. So now he's on this new search to find out who exactly set this fire. Was it intentional? Was it an accident? Whatever. He has his little thoughts. You can tell he's one of those, he's very, very wise, but at the same time, he knows how to wait it out. He is not too quick to make moves, so he knows how to like be patient. This time will come. He just putting all the pieces together quietly in his mind, or probably writing them out alone. But he gonna get to the bottom line of this. And I'm like, okay, I love him. I love him. I love him. Especially since he got this little spark between him and Lillian. It's like, okay, we know something is there. But of course, he's patient with that as well. He's taking his time with that as well, because we like, okay, when you gonna make your move? When you gonna make your move? But he probably knows Lillian got a lot on her plate with running this orphanage, her sister being in town with her now, and a lot of different things are happening in her world that she probably doesn't really have the time for that necessarily. And it's the same thing for her sister Grace as well. Grace, oh y'all, I'm loving the sparks between Grace and Chuck. Like, even though that's Ted's son, and you know, right there, that's just making it very difficult. That's gonna be a huge hurdle to kind of cross right there. I don't know how Grace gonna do it. Can she kind of like, you see she's trying to almost like wish away her feelings for Chuck, not trying to harp on it so much, like trying to almost like blink it away, right? But she can't help herself, because Chuck is he's such a gentleman, right? Good with animals, good with people. He's just, it's like, really, is Tess your mama, honey? You sure you want to adopt it, Chuck? Because you do not act nothing like your mama, right? And so it's making it very, very difficult for Grace to resist. And he did, y'all. Oh, wow, y'all, he did. Okay, in a very subtle way. And I was like, okay, get it, Chuck. Now, he asked Grace out on a date. And Grace, you could tell, eternally, she was battling, y'all. She did not know. Her heart wanted to just go for it, but her mind was like, nah, what is this really gonna cause? Is this gonna cause an all-out war between Tess and my family, my sister Lillian, my big sister? There's already bad blood between the two families. What are we gonna do? But she ends up turning him down in a very, very gentle way. Not in a way where it lets him know that she definitely is interested. There's definitely sparks there. Okay, she's not denying that, but at the same time, she's a little hesitant about it. So Chuck probably thinking in his mind, okay, it's all right. Maybe she just needs a little time, but that's not the end. That's not the end. Okay, it ain't the end. All right. But I'm loving the sparks between Chuck and Grace. I think it's so adorable, so precious, so sweet. And I love, like, in these times, this is like set in the 1900s. So the women are very, very kind of proper. Like I said, they're very like dress in moderation, the way that they carry themselves are not forward. They don't speak with such harshness and such, like a lot of things that we see nowadays. These are not the way that women behaved back then. And it's such a breath of fresh air to see that, to see women speak with such kindness, such gentleness, and to be so patient and so gentle with not only children and even the men, but even amongst each other. They are very much so like that. They are more united than anything, and you just really wish that that could be in today's time. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way, so I have to tell myself, I know, below, you are not the only one that feels that way. And that's one of the reasons why I get on here and I share this with y'all, because I know it gotta be a certain people out there who feels the same way, who enjoys these type of productions and all of that, who enjoy these worlds. So this is for y'all, like seriously, Jesus and y'all, okay? It really is, because I know it gotta be. But like I said, overall this show is right up my alley. I'm so excited about this. But like I said, I'm still trying to figure out Tess, like seriously. But I'm loving the way that she is, because it's not so apparent. She is not so like, where it's like, okay, this is the evil wicked witch of the West, where everybody knows that in town, this is the evil one. No, they have such respect for Tess. There's a level of respect for her in the way that she carries herself, the way that she runs her business and different things like that. She has pretty much a decent reputation, but at the same time, you can see that underlining something there, like she's just ready to pounce, and you gotta really pay attention to catch it. And that's what I'm just really loving about it, because it's not so out in the open, it's not so evident, and that makes it really add a certain kind of spice, a certain kind of something to the show thus far. But I'm like, okay, I just want to jump on here and talk about her right quick. But yeah, oh yeah, this one scene, y'all, okay, oh y'all, okay, let me tell you this, all right? She called herself, I said, this is very slick. She knows that her son Chuck is obviously into Grace. She sees the sparks. But instead of being the bad guy and saying something to her son about it, or to try to paint Grace in a terrible way, or even try to go to Grace and threaten her or paint her son in a certain way or any kind of thing, she let them be. Almost as if that she don't see nothing, she don't notice nothing, ain't none of her business. But she does something on the slide. I was like, girl, that's real slick. But I'm watching you, Tess. I see you, girl. I see you. And that ain't right. But I see you, though. She basically goes to Grace's boss, who runs the hotel, right? Grace also, not only does she work in an orphanage, but she also works in this hotel as a server, a waitress, or whatever. Grace does it all. Hardworking girl. Like, seriously, love her, right? And so she go to him, and she's like, she got this little thing going on at the house, some event, I don't remember what it was called. And she was like, why don't you have Grace, come down and basically be a part of it, be a part of serving some of the different things that they got going on at this particular event at her place. And I'm like, why in the world would you invite Grace when we know how you feel about this girl's family, Lillian, her big sister? You blame their family for your husband's passing, so that does not make sense. Why are you going to on purpose invite Grace to be a part of this? And I'm just wondering, but I'm like, okay, I'm sitting, I'm just watching, right? So the event happened, and Grace is there doing her part with a good attitude and different things like that. She had no idea that it was actually Tess behind asking her boss to have her come along. So she goes down because her boss asked her would she do it, and she's like, sure, of course. That's just the kind of girl she is. And she goes down there, she's doing her thing, doing amazing, and she sees Chuck talking to this other girl, right? Who's probably like seeing like she could be somebody, maybe like an ex-girlfriend, maybe possibly someone he's interested in. She's young, she's pretty, whoever this girl is, and she's noticing her on the slide, but she's trying not to be bothered by it because she knows she has no claims on Chuck. She even turned on a date from him, so who is she to really have any say so in this? But you can tell like it's like really bothering her inside, but she's just constantly kind of glancing over there. Chuck notices her, and he's trying to work his way over to just being in her presence. Like, he's not really thinking nothing of it, of this girl, because obviously this girl probably is nothing to him. He's just having a conversation with her. And then you see Tess kind of like a little far off, and I'm like, okay, that was your plan. You knew whoever this girl was gonna be there talking to your son and different things like that. You set that up, and you set it up because you knew Grace was gonna be there and Grace was gonna see this, and this is probably a way to get her to get Grace basically to kind of leave your son alone. And I was like, Tess, girl, you slick, you slick. Yo, and so that was like a huge thing to me, and that's kind of where I stopped at. I didn't go any past that, but you know, we're gonna talk about it later because I'm just little by little going along, y'all coming along with me on this ride. But yes, y'all, oh wow, yes, it's getting there. It's getting really, really, really good, and I'm just loving it thus far. I just want to put that out there. But yes, that's all I have for y'all for this video. And I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Once again, happy Mother's Day. I've been saying happy Mother's Day weekend all weekend, but I want to personally say happy Mother's Day. I hope you all had an amazing time, all of you, you know. And thank you so much for watching. So until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.